This is where the fun begins. This is where the fun begins. This is where the fun. This is where the fun. This is where the fun begins.
Who's the big guy with the muscles?
This is where the fun begins.
Who's the big guy with the muscles?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. How are we doing this evening? Welcome to Toy Anxiety live on a Tuesday night. Hey now.
Hey now.
Thank you, Flash. Hey now. Hey now. We'll just rip off other radio hosts. Perfect.
Cool.
Welcome to the show, everybody. Craig here with you. Jacob Walsh is taking the night off. Much deserved.
Yeah, he's
It's
having
his
some
birthday.
family.
It was his
Still
birthday.
celebrating.
2
Yes.
months ago. It was his birthday. Happy birthday, Jake. We're gonna have some fun tonight. Hey, let me go ahead and kill the music. Welcome everybody to the show. Already a lot of people watching. We appreciate you being here on a Tuesday night. And welcome to Toy Anxiety. So this is our first show post Toylanta, which was the big toy show that we had in Atlanta this week, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit. Ryan Dole joining us as always. Ryan, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Things are busy. Things are moving very fast up here in Canada.
Yeah,
But things are good.
good. I'm glad
Cool.
things are
Yeah.
moving fast up there. I feel like Canada's normally like slower pace, being a little real respectful, nodding caps to each other as you pass in the street.
It's
but-
true. There is.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, did you see the stuff for the Star Wars show? Or Star Wars show, the Star Wars Celebration, like for their store? What's available?
I did see some of that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool
They
stuff.
have a teapot and teacups and saucers. They have a tea set.
Man, where
that
are
is-
they? Are they having a Star Wars Celebration in Saskatchewan this year? Is that what you're telling me?
No, it's in London, so it makes sense
Oh.
they would serve
Oh.
tea.
The only place who likes tea more than Ryan Dole.
I love tea.
London.
Yeah,
The only
Abby loves
place.
tea as well. That's
Huge
why we
tea
call her
fan
Ab
over
Tea.
here. Yeah,
Ab tea.
that's what everyone's been calling me.
And by the way, I should say we have a special guest joining us tonight. He'll be coming on in just a few minutes. Everybody start guessing. Take a guess.
Yeah.
Put it in the
let's
chat.
see who
If you
wins.
guess right, we will
You win.
redraw for the Eternia
No. But
between
congratulations.
the winner and whoever guesses it right.
Congratulations to Aaron LaGrange, who was our winner. And sorry to Rob Sosby, who came in second place.
Yeah. Who thought he was the winner for like
Yeah.
a minute?
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
Aw.
And Abigail Gardner, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. Happy to co-host. So happy to see you, Ryan. And I'm excited to see who the guest is.
Me too. This is really exciting. We'll
Mhm.
bring him in just
None
one
of us
second.
know.
No,
No
it's a
idea.
It's a
Yeah.
mystery. It's a mystery. Everybody's taking guesses. No, there's not a giveaway. The giveaway is we're literally going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects ever, which is 90s WCW. This is my wheelhouse. Welcome to the show, Ryan. I know you're excited. Abby, I know you're excited.
Yeah, I am excited.
I kept hearing the Monday Nitro music coming from the other room today because Abby kept watching the Mattel Creations video on Steve's Instagram on Action Figure Attack, which is great follow. Make sure
Yeah,
you follow her.
totally.
Doing great work over there. But I was getting so pumped up just hearing that Monday Nitro intro music. So we're gonna be talking about that. We're gonna talk to our guest here in just a second. Should we go ahead and bring him in?
I think we should.
I think
Yeah.
we should.
Tag him in.
So this is a man who he's been on the show before. Okay. If you're a toy fan, you probably know who this guy is. And a couple weeks ago, when I threw some shade at legendary WCW wrestler Glacier, this guy slid into my DMs and said, "How dare you?"
And then slid into
dare.
mine and said, "How dare you let him?"
So all the way from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Here we go.
We're just giving away addresses now. We're doxing him.
They know where he is. Ryan Ting from the Marvel Legends team. They know he's in Rhode Island. That
What's
much
up?
they know.
Hey,
Hi, Ryan. Welcome to the
thanks
show.
for joining.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. I hear this is a hour-long, glacier discussion. So
It's
I
a
have
glacier
to tag
Yeah,
discussion.
in.
deep dive.
Much like the actual glaciers,
Not just-
Glacier faded away quickly, unfortunately,
Oh,
from WCW.
dark.
yes.
Yes, I love this. Ryan Ting is the third man. Only wrestling references tonight. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Ryan, by the way, your background looks incredible. You're all set up.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
I'm moved in, yeah, and we're talking WCW, so I thought I'd wear my Shawn Michaels shirt. Of course, that makes total sense. I don't have a lot of wrestling shirts, so sorry, this is the best
I
I
didn't
can do.
either.
No, that's close enough.
That's
It's
amazing.
all
Yeah,
it's all
we
part
love
of
it.
all part of the Monday Night Wars. Ryan, or the Tuesday Night Wars for Toy. We need a rival show to Toy Anxiety that airs at the exact same time, and people can flip back and forth, and we'll report the ratings on Wednesday. It'll be great. Actually, I don't want that. Nobody do that. Ryan, you know, obviously you work for Hasbro. You're on the Marvel Legends team. You guys are killing it as always. You are a 2-time Jeffrey Award winner. So we just appreciate you being here to talk toys. It's a real treat for us.
Yeah, and thank you for sending us our very own Jeffrey. I have him right here next to my selfie series
lovely.
me. So yeah, he guards the Jeffrey every night to make sure
The selfie
celebrates
series,
him.
Guardians of the Jeffries, the
That's
new
great.
MCU movie. It's gonna be great. Well, we're gonna have some fun tonight. Like I said, we went to a toy show. We got some pickups and stuff to share, and then we'll get into the main chunk of the news, which is mainly the WCW talk, the Mattel Creations Nitro Arena, which was revealed yesterday. Ryan might be frozen, so hopefully he'll be right back.
Well, the chat's excited that Ryan's here.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm excited too. We have a super chat. Let's see if Ryan will be right back. He's a little frozen right now. That's okay. But he's
Like
here.
Glacier.
Glacier got
Like Glacier. I think he might be back. I'm not sure. Let me see. Is he back? Ooh, Ryan's having an issue. That's fine. Thank you for the super chat, TMNT.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Let's go ahead and say hi to the chat. There's a lot of people here. Peak Obi-Wan, Dorlexon, another punk chef, Jacob Walsh. Hi. Adam Taylor, TMNT Dad, KJ Smith, BMM 1984, Kyoto Films, Andy Silva, Flash is here, Adam is here, Thunderhouse Design, Davey here, Blue Chainsaw Man, Matt Bush. This is my design horror channel. Wonder This World 97, Rich Powerball Green, Brian Merchant. So many people. Toy Art is here. Dorlax already said hi to you, but Chernovero is here. Allison Troy, Silver K, and so on and so on. So many people. We appreciate
Good group.
all of the support.
Yeah.
So we can kind of get into it. So like I said, we had Toylanta. We did run into some friends and listeners. Shout out to Pixel Dan. We spent some time with him toy hunting. Our local toy shop, Second Chance Toys, did a late night toy thing after the toy show. They stayed open till midnight. So I'll tell you what, hunting toys at 11 o'clock at night, going on a snack run and coming back. This is what all.
Yeah, that's like going out.
This was great. I felt like
I loved it.
I felt like I was going to the club. It was phenomenal.
100%. We got
It
ready,
was phenomenal.
went out, got drinks,
Yeah, it was
brought
great.
coffees
It
in.
was great. It was great.
Yeah, being there after hours feels special too. It's like being at Halloween Horror Nights. Like, you
Absolutely.
shouldn't really be there, and makes you want to buy stuff.
I think Ryan's back with us.
Yes.
No worries there. Ryan,
Got
you know,
super kicked out. I don't know
you're-
what happened.
you're fine. You do live streams. You know that the odds of these things working, it's always zero basically. So it's fine.
We assumed that Glacier got you.
Yeah, exactly.
Frozen
Frozen
I saw
like
in the
Glacier.
chats.
So we went to Toylanta. And Ryan, Dole, do you have pickups this week?
I do. I have a couple, not very many,
Okay.
but they're really good.
I have a couple too, and Abby's got some too. And
Yeah.
Ryan, you're more than welcome to show off anything that you've picked up, or if you're excited about something in your collection, you're more than welcome to show off as well. If not, no worries either. So we'll have some fun. Ryan Dole, do you want to start us off?
Yes, I can do that. So
Okay.
I like Star Wars. You guys know that.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
So I finally got the Wookiee Senator, to go with the rest of my senators.
Oh, your senator collection. Congrats.
My
Oh, I
senator-
thought you said
Ryan
I thought you said
Joel-
the rookie senator.
the Ryan Joel
junior
senator collection. So I
Okay,
got the
very
rookie.
cool. All right.
Also found Loosey Goosey, the Reeves senator.
Okay.
All right.
So that's it. I think I now
Cool.
have all the senators.
Wow.
But when I'm thinking about senators, you know who I'd rather be thinking of?
Padme.
Padme. I got Clone Wars Padme, which seems redundant as seeing as I ordered this hot toy. But that's okay. That doesn't matter. I also got Obi-Wan's second astromech droid, as seen in Revenge of the Sith. This is the one he has after his R5 or his R2 unit gets destroyed by those other little buzz droids. And
Okay.
he has this droid for about 5 minutes, and then Order 66 happens.
Wait, he's only in the show.
Um,
He's in the movie for 5 minutes, and he got a figure.
Yes, that's back when they used to do that.
Okay, cool.
Now they don't. Now we and that came out before the movie was even out. Just want to point that out
Wow.
too.
Very cool.
I also got another figure which I think is like really awesome, but it also went the way of the Super 7 Rat King. You know, when grown men start to complain about things, they start to cry, and there's outrage, and
Yeah.
then the toy line
I've
says,
seen it.
"You know what?
Mhm.
No more. We're not going to make any more. This is obviously making you all upset. We're not going to do this." And I guess Tucker Carlson wins again. I guess that's what happens. And as seen 5 years ago on Fox News, this character was canceled by conservatives. I got Princess Leia with a chain.
Nice.
All right. Well, very controversial
Mhm,
pickup, but very
mhm.
cool. I like those.
Very controversial pickup. This is the closest I'll get to a 1/6 figure of this particular Princess Leia.
Yes.
But now I have it. And now I think I'm going to start a Power of the Force 12 inch doll collection. Yeah. that's
There you
it.
go.
Yeah, I support
I'm in
that.
trouble.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. Oh, I didn't bring it out. I should. Well, I'll show it off next week. But I've been slowly picking up some of the 12-inch vintage Star Wars figures, and I picked up an Obi-Wan, an Alec Guinness Obi-Wan 12-inch Star Wars figure. But it's already on display, and it took a while to get him to stand, so he'll stay in there.
Is
for
it
tonight.
Power of the Force?
No, it's the original Kenner big Star Wars figures.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm in that kind of financial situation. Did you know that? I can just I can buy 12-inch vintage Star Wars figures. It's really crazy. Ryan, those are great pickups, man. Thanks for sharing.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for letting me share.
As always, let us know in the chat what you've been picking up, and don't forget to hit that like button because it helps us spread the word on toy anxiety. Ryan Ting, our guest, are you going to be showing off anything this evening? Do you have anything that's new to your collection you want to share with everyone?
Yeah, I was like running around the room trying to amass some of the things that have come in lately. But
Awesome.
this is something that's kind of cool. When I got this email for the pre-orders, I was like, well, it looks like I'm all of a sudden buying Loungefly backpacks.
Okay.
So these finally came in, right? The Rogue
What?
Yeah.
and Gambit.
Oh shit.
They are, and the detail is like really, really fun. You've got like the little call.
Does
like
it take your
Gambit's got the
energy?
collar. It
Yeah.
does. It's got the little cards. You know, I'm not an expert on these backpacks. I know they do a lot of them, a lot of Disney and a lot of other collabs, but like these were just.
I know they have
a big-
quotes on the back sometimes. So is there quotes on the back of these?
I have to dig into these. Clearly, they're not even opened yet. But
Yeah.
But I love them already.
The inside cloth lining is usually detailed too, so that's badass.
Oh yeah, you've got the Jar Jar.
I have
one.
the Jar Jar version, and I'm so jealous of that Rogue. So
Yeah.
congrats.
So my
I hope
first
they
and
make
probably
Nightcrawler.
last Loungefly backpacks, but sticking with X-Men here, I finally pulled the trigger on the Mondo 12-inch animated series Wolverine.
Nice.
So got that to go along with the Legends versions, the 6-inch versions, and then
That's awesome.
a little bit late to the party, but I finally completed the Playmates reissue, so I got all 4 of them. Had to go in person to a Walmart to get Mikey and Leo because I had some trouble getting them through the app or through the online.
Right,
But
right.
then was able to got Raph first, got Donnie first actually, then Raph on Amazon. And so so now I've got them all kind of, they will stay in box because you can kind of see them already nicely. So I'm probably not going to get 2 sets, but at least I got 1 set there.
Yeah, that's what I did with mine. They display really nicely. Just leave them in the package. Those are really cool.
Those are cool.
We have one super chat from Davey says, quick plug, make sure to see the new podcast Toy Stress every Tuesday night. Yes, our competition. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Ryan, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, those are great pickups.
That's awesome. It would be cool, I guess, if they do all of the X-Men Loungefly book bags or backpacks. That would look cool to have them all on display, like in I don't know, some Detolfs or something. I don't know. Now I'm like trying to get in the backpack.
I straight up want that Rogue. Like I
Well,
want to order that.
you've been all into Rogue lately because of what's it called?
I've been playing Fortnite and I play her as my character. So yeah.
Well, cool. Well, Abby, do you have some? I know you have some pickups as well.
I do. I feel like I should kick it off with like my biggest thing.
And this is from the toy show.
'Cause why not? Yeah, this was from the toy show.
Hold on. Sorry. There we go. All right.
Okay, awesome. So this is a wow factor piece that I found in a bin and I got for like a total deal. Let me show you guys from
Whoa!
it's a coloring book.
That's a
From Batman
giant
and
coloring
Robin.
book.
It's all mint.
I'm gonna color in that thing.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's in great condition. It's enormous. Excuse me. I was gonna say humongous.
There's a good color poster in the middle too.
Yeah.
Got to get that framed.
There you
Beautiful.
go.
That poster is better than the movie.
Yeah.
Just putting it out.
And I already have a lot of those. I know it's not a toy technically, but like it goes along. I have a lot of the toys from that line and from obviously Batman Forever. And speaking of Batman Forever, I should show off this little candy Two-Face that I got from Second Chance Toys.
Yeah.
And I opened it and spilled it everywhere, and Pixel Dan helped me clean it up. So I just wanted to say thank you. Shout out to him.
Abby got
What a
candy
story.
all over the.
I took the bottom off by accident. Then when I lifted it, like it just all went. And I was like, "That's collectible candy. We need to get it." So he came in and swept it all up, which
Yeah.
was super nice.
Yeah, we put Pixel Dan to
That's
work
so
at
funny.
11 o'clock at night.
And the fact that it was me spilling something was like pretty on point for my
Pretty-
character. So yeah.
for your gimmick.
Yeah. I'll do one last quick thing. Because I do have a ton of stuff. I might actually save some of it for later.
Okay.
But I just wanted to show off this Littlest Pet Shop set that I got from Second Chance the night of the toy party that we had, the after party. And this is Dolly the Dolphin from the SeaWorld set, which has a couple different like play sets. I need to actually get them, but how cute is that? And how cute is little Dolly? And I love it. You can like put her on and move her around and stuff.
Question:
Mm-hmm.
How many of the SeaWorld sets did they make?
I know that there's like a Shamu set, which they have at that shop, and I haven't actually bought it yet. But I think it's a pretty big line.
Yeah,
Like
I think it was at least 3 or 4. There's
I
always,
like the way that the water looks.
There's also a Beethoven second
Translucent.
Littlest Pet Shop, specifically the second one. So
Mhm.
that's almost Ghostbusters related. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's an Ivan Reitman production there.
I didn't find any calico critters. Big bummer. I wanted to let everyone know. That's just I don't think that's going to be at the toy shows. I feel like there's like
It's like
you have
its
to go other
own world.
places.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the other parts of the country. But I did get that Littlest Pet Shop, which is right up my alley. So I'm very excited.
All Good says,
That's cool.
thank you for sharing. My
Yeah.
wife surprised me with a Super 7 Bebop, so now I have a new line to chase. Well, get started. You get going. They're not slowing down. I listened to Brian Flynn's interview on the Fwoosh. I'm all caught up with my Super 7 news. We'll talk about it later. Okay, I've got a couple things to show off as well, and then we'll get into this crowdfunding discussion. And I'm glad Ryan's going to be here to join us because Ryan has hands-on experience with crowdfunding platforms. So it's like having an expert opinion,
Mhm.
which we
Well,
normally
I
don't
bought
have here.
one.
It literally is.
I've helped fund one.
Yeah,
So
you have a Razor Crest.
So
And a Sentinel.
and a Sentinel, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm professional too.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah.
professionals here.
We're all
Okay,
professionals here.
so this first thing was a birthday gift. Even though it was technically Jacob Walsh's birthday, he surprised me with a really cool gift. Him and Jake's girlfriend Jess got me these really amazing Medicom Toys Batman and Joker Safubi style figures. This kind of falls into the category of not something I would have ever thought to even like knew existed, But as soon as he gave them to me, I was like, well, there's a bunch of these. They've got classic stuff. I cannot wait to get these out and on display. It's really cool, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And I love Batman more than almost anything right now. So very excited to get
That's
those.
cool. Did you know
Yeah.
I have a Batman show as well called Gotham City Tonight?
You
It's on
do?
Wednesday
Mhm.
night. Yeah.
Wow.
Wednesday nights on YouTube.
There you go.
Yeah,
On
check it out.
YouTube. Check your local listings. TMNT Dad says we should say dolting instead of adulting. Okay. Okay, we got it.
Okay. No,
We got it.
Well,
Two
if
Ryans.
anyone here watches Toying Around, and when they have Enablers episodes, they would know that Ryan Ting and I also have a 2-on-2 basketball team.
What,
We
like
welcome
Hoop It
any
Up?
challengers.
Was that what it was called
Yeah.
in the 90s? Hoop It Up?
cool.
I think so.
I think that's what
NBA
it was.
Jam, NBA Jam style.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I throw you
yeah,
alley
that's
oops, Ryan.
Ooh.
I want to
That's
do a
right.
basketball competition.
You want to play
Yeah,
basketball?
I think that all the podcasts should compete.
At the toy show, I said it on Toy Anxiety last week that I wanted to get into Mattel Hook. I bought the only Mattel Hook thing I found there, which was the Strike Tank, open box but sealed contents. Hook is one of my favorite movies. Hook is one of my favorite Spielberg movies. I don't know why I have never started this line, but I got this for the grand total of $20. Look, so that's a deal. So I got the Strike
That's
Tank.
cool.
Yeah.
I love that. Couple more things here. Found this guy in stores today. It's the new Indiana Jones Adventure series. I don't think I'm going to be collecting this line, but you got to get the first ever 6-inch indie figure.
Mhm.
So can't wait to dig into that. And listen, maybe I know how I am. The odds of me having the rest of the wave by the end of the week are pretty good. But for tonight, it's just this one.
Yeah.
I'm buying into the indie hype. Okay, couple more things. I did also set out to get Superpowers figures for the collection. There was a bunch there. I'm still a novice when it comes to pricing, so I was pretty judicious in my purchases, but I did find a complete Joker, which I'm trying to kind of like just go right now, get the characters I know I need, right? Like if my Superpowers collection ended tomorrow, at least I'd have Joker. I've got Batman and Robin, etc. So I got a good deal on this. I think it was like $20.
Great figure.
So yeah, awesome
Mhm.
figure, awesome Joker. Love that Joker.
Mhm.
And I also got Hawkman,
Nice.
which the Chance from Second Chance Stores got a Second Chance Toys, not Second Chance Stores. I was looking at all the Superpowers figures. It was like 11:30 at night. They were trying to get out of there. I was like, let me look at that Thor is what I kept saying. He was like, stop calling him Thor. But anyways, got the Hawkman figure there. All right. Almost done. All right. Two last little things. This was really cool. This was not something I was expecting. There was an artist at Toylanta named Larry Selman, and he was one of the original packaging artists on Kenner Jurassic Park. And he had prints there. So I bought a set of his prints, and which were the artwork he did of the Mobile Command Center, and then the non-text versions of a couple various Jurassic Park items. So
Boy, guys
I
should
thought-
do that.
what?
They should do that for all the toys. I want prints of like Batman Forever.
Me too.
Mhm.
He mainly does like military stuff. If you go to his website, he mainly did a lot. He did a lot of military, and he did do some GI Joe stuff. I think in the 90s, and
You can feel that in that piece in particular.
it was really funny. He was like, "Yeah, I just got a call from my agent one day. He's like, hey, you're going to be drawing dinosaurs." He's like, "I am." So I love this. He signed all of them. He gave me a good deal. I don't know what I'm going to do. Maybe I'll frame them. Maybe I'll get the toys they relate to. But yeah,
That's one.
really cool.
That's one way to find an excuse to get the toys.
Yeah, I had to. I've got the art. Okay. Now, I know we're here to talk about WCW tonight, and this is a perfect segue. So let me explain this. The way that Toylanta works is on Friday night, which is like preview night, which if you've been to conventions, you kind of know what preview night's like. At 8:00 it ends, and then they do all throughout the lobby of the hotel, anybody can bring a bin full of stuff, and they do like a toy swap meet in the hotel lobby. It's very cool. Very chaotic. Abby, do you think it was kind of stressful actually?
Yeah, I had to like exit for a few minutes. It got really congested, but it's fun.
Really congested, and like, there's a lot of people. People are wheeling, dealing. People were the people had ecto glows. How many people came up to like us? Were like, "Hey, did you guys see the ecto glows?" Like, so all right, calm down. I'm not dropping $700 tonight, but
Mhm.
I did find this.
And he dropped 600.
I don't know how I'm going to show this off, so let me, and then we'll get into our discussion here. This is a complete WCW Gloob ring with the entire first wave of figures. So I'll try to angle it here.
I'm waiting for all of them to just like dump.
I'll show you now. These I got a really good deal. I got all this for like $100. I normally don't have to tell the prices, but I thought it was a pretty good deal. Like I don't think this ring's. I don't really see this ring out and about.
Mhm.
Plus, it has the hammer for the bell, so you know it's
Oh.
good.
Mhm.
So you know the match is on.
Yeah.
And then
You
you
wake
know, you
up,
got,
start your
like,
day.
Ric Flair. I got both Arn Andersons. I got Arn Anderson with and without the bald spot. I think this is Shane Douglas. Oh man, who else you got here? He's a man called Sting. Sting. So yeah,
Nice.
there's like 12 figures. The UK figures are much more expensive. They did some UK repaints, and the guy actually had the UK exclusives as well. Yes,
Maybe.
exactly. Yes. Now you know what it's like to go to an event like that. Look at this. Undeniable. Rick Steiner. Anyways,
This
this looks.
Dogface Gremlin, impressive.
Now I wasn't going to go down the road of WCW Glue, but this fits all of the check marks of nostalgia. It displays really well. It's colorful. It's fun, and also these figures suck. Like they're little rubber statues with zero articulation. Like they barely qualify as action figures. So, love them. Happy to pick that up. It was a good pickup. Abby seemed excited for
Yeah,
it.
I was. And the excitement, like I said, like you said, of people just like suddenly making a little marketplace in the hallway was really cool.
Yeah, and the
Glad
guy
you found
the
it.
guy had a lot of good stuff, but I had to, it was night one of the toy show. You don't want to go too crazy too quickly.
Yeah,
So
totally.
but anyways, so good pickups, everybody. Good stuff. And Ryan, before we get into our our crowdfunding discussion, just from insider perspective, it kind of feels like from a marketing perspective with the crowdfunding, Mattel, Hasbro, it used to feel when Star Wars first launched the barge, it felt like it was a really big education campaign where it was like, we need to educate our audience on how these crowdfunding platforms work. I feel like we've finally gotten to a point where people kind of understand the process, but also, Ryan, am I completely wrong? Is education still a big part of the marketing when it comes to a project like this, in your opinion?
I mean, all of my kind of thoughts are just based on the campaigns that I've worked on personally, and I've seen some of the other, Hasbro ones, but don't even know the full details that those teams have to consider, let alone other companies. So just kind of throwing that out there as a disclaimer for tonight. But yeah, no, I think fans get it by now, and I think a lot of the discussion with just more crowd funds and more high ticket items that maybe aren't even crowd funds, it's just a more discussion on kind of like the value you get. And I think we've honestly gotten a little maybe too into the tiers discussion. Like tiers are now just this thing that everyone has an opinion about and expects certain things from tiers. But if you kind of go back to, what they originated for us as with the Sentinel and some of the other campaigns, I think they're meant to be things that are kind of like extra nice to have, things that maybe couldn't like just be, or things that wouldn't be just standalone items that you could just sell like normally, or even exclusives, but they're just kind of like add-ons. And so, yeah, tiers is a complicated discussion. We kind of ran into that with our last campaign. Obviously, a lot more too went on behind the scenes than even what you guys all saw at the end of the day.
Sure.
But yeah, so that's just kind of my quick take on it.
No, I think that's really valuable insight. I think that, in any of these projects, like we're all commentators, right? So when the vast majority of us have it's not even like sports where you have people like beat writers who are following the team and on the bus with the team. Like, we're not. Can you believe Hasbro doesn't let toy tubers in the meetings? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? So we only get a small portion, right? So just that's some good general information to have. And another question to the group. I mean, Ryan, both Ryans, but we'll start with Dole. You're not a big modern wrestling collector, but you are a wrestling fan. When you let me go and bring up some of the first images, or I mean, before we get into this, what was your excitement level when you saw this thing revealed yesterday?
Well, it was pretty high because it was okay. High, and it was also like I was hoping it was going to be the WCW entrance.
Okay.
It didn't even, I think you were telling me, Craig, because I haven't actually had a chance to look online.
Okay.
And I think people were saying, you were telling me that people were complaining that it doesn't have a ring.
I've seen this comment going around.
Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to be a Mattel shill for a hot minute here.
Oh, wait, this is our new segment. Just chilling.
Just chilling. Chilling like a villain, right? The WCW, this does not need a ring.
Okay.
I think if they do another thing where it's like, hey, here's a stretch goal, it's going to be the Nitro skirt that goes with your other ring
right
that you bought and the ropes and whatever. To me, this is enough. And I think this is super cool. This looks crazy detailed. I did watch the video with all the lights. That's super impressive. I think this is a great playset. Straight up. I think this is great if you want to have a display piece. If you're one of those dudes who still likes to like play with their toys, or if you're even one of those like really rich adults who buys this kind of stuff for their kids.
Yeah.
I think this is awesome.
Yeah. Me too. I mean, we saw this in person.
Mm-hmm.
I remember talking to Steve last year at Comic-Con, and obviously every single person asked, because they had just revealed the Eternia. And everyone's asking, is this going to be the next Mattel Creations crowdfund? And, it was kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We'll see, if there's a lot of interest. But you cannot underestimate or under describe how impressive it is in person. It's huge. I think I have the other graphic here so it's 40 inches wide, 20 inches tall, and I think with the ramp, 31 inches. So, Abby, do you have any
look how
initial
big
thoughts?
it is? Like, those are 6-inch figures there, aren't they?
Yeah. And the possibilities are endless of like what you can set up, what kind of videos you can do, and like what kind of photos you can take. And it's so stunning, and seeing it in person was like it kind of like took me back a little bit. I'm a huge fan of like light up accessories, and that being a feature with this, like it takes it to another level. It's the kind of thing where when you welcome people into your toy room, we like to turn the lights on and kind of do the whole show. And I feel like that's the final thing that you turn on for everybody. It's like a real showpiece.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's fucking awesome.
Ryan, we joked about the Glacier DMs earlier, but just in general, I know you're a wrestling fan. This was WCW your wheelhouse back in the day?
This made me think back to the Monday Night Wars, and I kind of do think for a while I was probably more into WCW. Like they had kind of all the big stars for a bit, and I was researching this on the Monday Night Wars, like looking at the ratings between the two of them over the course of that time. And there was definitely a time, right, where WCW had the higher ratings, and then they kind of trailed off. Like once Steve Austin and then DX and all those guys started popping big in the WWF. Mm-hmm. But yeah, for a lot of my childhood, it was WCW Saturday night on Saturdays, obviously. And then it was tuned into Nitro. So yeah, my first reaction was just a lot of nostalgia, just seeing the stage there. And it didn't even really occur to me that, wait a minute, like there's no ring. Like I wasn't even thinking that for a while up front. But yeah, just love the lights, love the stage, love the WCW like thick signs you see there. And I backed the original ring. I haven't opened it yet. So these people, like, with the valid concern of space, like you don't need space if you just leave it in the box, like you need.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, to me, I was being in Atlanta, you almost couldn't help being a WCW fan first and foremost. I mean, it was up the road, and you would see WCW guys around town. Like I remember seeing Eric Bischoff at a restaurant. I remember, running into Wrath in the bathroom of another restaurant, which is very scary when you're, 11 or whatever. And I was a huge WCW fan. I mean, you're right, Ryan. WCW, I would say my nostalgia is more rooted in WCW and the NWO. That run from like 96 to, end of 98 is like my prime time as a wrestling fan. So this to me is an instant. I don't have one WCW elite figure because when I started collecting Mattel elites, I was just going to stick to that's that early to mid 90s really colorful era, not even attitude era, but like to me, we'll talk about the tiers, but this is where does it go? I don't know, but I don't need a ring.
Yeah, this is like stuff that you've never seen before in toy form, like that
Right.
you can pose and
Yep.
It's so who needs the thing that we've had a lot of versions
There's been a
of?
million rings, and also I had the Toy Biz WCW Arena playset. So this is like this is the modern day. Look what we can do now with toys. Like, and what we'll do here, we'll go over the stats too to give if people aren't familiar with what's going on with this and how much it's going to cost and all that.
Did we acknowledge that super chat?
I didn't see it. Go for it.
Let's see. First of all, thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Ryan, what kind of charts and metrics does your team generate internally to track the campaign's progress? Also, imagine you guys having a monitor in the office showing the live backer count, like a stock ticker on Wall Street.
Thank you, Brian. Brian's our chart and graph guy. And Ryan, obviously, if anything's too inside and you can't address it,
Yeah,
we're not going to do. I know there were some people asking like Marvel Legends, like speculation questions. Like that's not what Ryan's here for.
That's what not tonight is.
That's not what tonight is. But I think it's safe to say that Ryan and Dan and Dwight are very well aware of all of the requests and wants and needs from the Marvel fans. But that is kind of a good question. Do you guys have some pretty intense metrics and analytics when you're doing these kind of projects?
I mean, yes and no. What the thing with these crowd funds is that all the data, the most important data is public, right? And I check it the same way everyone else does by refreshing that page. And you get to, at a certain point, working on it, you kind of have to not drive yourself insane by worrying, oh my God, we went up 3 and then we went down 2. Like that very quickly becomes too much.
Right.
But yeah, I mean,
let us
daily,
do that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same daily monitoring. There are some folks in the office who have these charts of like comparing all the previous HasLabs and the daily response, but I personally don't put too much credence in that because every campaign is different. It's a different time, sail barge to Sentinel to kind of what's to come. Like things are just way different in the market. And that's the thing where that's what's exciting about working on these, because a lot of it is fact-based, but then a lot of it is subjective too. And it's kind of like, you just got to stick to your guns and your gut based on your experience and your intuition. And hopefully it kind of pans out. But no, I would say that it's a lot of just checking every day. What's the backer count at? And you can see it on these sites. And that's, it's very public. It's the most public thing we do, really.
Right. And we all fall into that because like tomorrow when this launches, I'm going to be the first one refreshing. It went up 100. It went up 200. They're going to do it today, because that's, I don't know. What does that say about me? I don't know.
Well, we did it for the Rancor.
Yeah, so I was going to say we should do a countdown.
Yeah, we did a
whole live thing. We thought they were going to hit it.
Yeah. It was like having a celebration in Endor at the Ewok village with no fireworks.
It was
really sad.
election night. That's what it was.
It was election night. So listen, let's go through these stats. Okay, the WWE Ultimate Edition WCW ring, 20 inches by 40 by 20, authentically scaled to all elites and ultimates, 100 LEDs with 6 pre-programmed and animated sequences, and so on and so on. Okay, it is a $400 item. So I think the new gen arena was $250. I think.
Okay.
So this is $150 more than the arena. And now this comes with the Rey Mysterio figure. We'll show the figures in a second, but let's go through these numbers here. Okay, it comes automatically with Rey Mysterio. They need 5,000 to unlock that. So I feel like I'm trying to remember. I feel like that's less than the initial unlock for the new Gen Arena. I feel like the new Gen Arena was like 8,000. I could be wrong.
I can't remember. That was so long. That was a whole pandemic ago.
Right, exactly. So 5,000 backers unlocks the whole play set with the Rey Mysterio. 7,000 backers unlocks the DDP figure. We'll look at that in a second. 9,000, you get the Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump, holler if you hear me. And then 11,000 gets the Ultimate Edition Ultimate Warrior debut figure. And then they're doing an early bird-ish kind of thing where if they reach 5,000 backers by April 7th in the first week, everybody will get the WCW Nitro debut Hulk Hogan figure. So if all goes according to plan and they hit 11,000 backers, you will get 5 ultimate figures. Now, ultimate figures retail, I think, for $30. So this is kind of what Ryan was talking about earlier. It gets a little bit tricky because if you look at it with 11,000 backers and you get 5 figures, all of a sudden, that seems like a pretty decent value because you're getting 5 $30 figures. That's a huge chunk of the thing there. But if it unlocks at 5,000, you only get 1 figure, maybe. So you really have to it's kind of hard. I know when Jacob Walsh is here, he always says, like, you should really value the item itself. The unlockable tiers should be an added bonus, but I think there's been kind of a flip in the way that we all think about it, where you kind of think about the tiers as part of the whole package. So one thing I will say before we look at this stuff, Mattel had a very successful crowdfunding campaign last year with the Eternia. I'm sure they have a ton of internal data pointing them to, these are not arbitrary decisions, right? They have data that shows that this is doable. Ryan, I saw you click in. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah. So like the thing with tiers, and I could go on forever about it, but I think at a minimum, right, adding more stuff in the box usually increases the box size overall because you just have to cram more stuff in it, and that increases your shipping rates and such. And the way Mattel did it for the new generation ring, they actually sent out, or at least they did it to me, I assume it was for everyone, they sent out the early bird Macho Man figure separately. So guys, like that, when you ship 2 things, like versus shipping, that's a huge cost. So I don't know if they're going to do the same, but like even when we've looked at that, so shipping, in addition to this, just the cost of the figure, once tiers are like new tooling, the way some tiers are, some aren't, that just like even more complicates the math, because what I think I've seen some commentary over the years where it's like, oh, these companies are charging us upfront for the tiers that haven't been unlocked yet. And so it's like only worth it if all of the tiers unlock. I think there's a little bit of a flaw to just that math, because the logic of how tiers are possible is that you're amortizing the tooling for the crowdfund itself over a greater number of units. So thus your cost becomes a little better, and then you can afford to throw in a few tiers. But once you start talking new figures or complete figures and full packaging, and then you can't increase the price, right? The price needs to stay the same regardless of what level you end up at the end. So then just the economics of it doesn't always kind of jive. And that's what I think people kind of underestimate, the complexity of it all and the very fine balance of all these factors of, it may seem arbitrary of, X amount of 1,000 units for the 3rd tier, which is this figure. Like, people don't just pick that out of a hat. It is very
Exactly.
It's very carefully calibrated, and just to kind of deviate from it all can just really kind of throw wrenches into the whole plans. So, that being said, like, let's talk about the tiers and whatever. But
no, I mean, that's such valuable insight, and I really hope I hope people watch this and listen to what Ryan is saying. And this is something we say a lot. And, we feel like it can be kind of tough, right? Because our responsibility first and foremost on this show is to have fun. That's if we're not having fun, something's wrong. We're talking about toys and action figures. We've been critical of stuff before. We celebrate certain stuff. We don't want anybody to struggle. We don't want anybody to fail. We want every project to be a major success. But I do think it's important to understand, like Ryan was just saying, this is Hasbro, Mattel. These are mega huge corporations and companies. I work my day job at a mega huge corporation company. Nothing just happens because somebody has an arbitrary guess, especially something like this where it's a product launch where there's a lot of money on the line. So, some people were saying, well, why are some of the tiers repaints? It's what Ryan was just saying. Like, you can't realistically have 5 brand new figures with 5 brand new sculpts and make the money and the numbers work, right? This has to work financially. And like Ryan was saying, every figure you put in, that's more room in the box. If it does turn into separate shipments, that's a whole other, we all know how much it costs to ship, just even a small item.
Yeah.
That times 10,000 or whatever. So I think there's a lot of angles to look at. $400 is a lot of money. Like, there's no doubt about that the price itself will price people out. And I don't think anybody should ever feel obligated or, miss out on paying a bill or feeding their family or whatever. Well, you probably skip a cell phone bill or something. Just push it back. And then you get a Nitro Arena, then you catch up
Make sure
later.
you feed your family. Yeah.
Feed your family. Or just you're serving your family's dinner. We're out of plates, but we've got like burrito bowls on the Nitro Arena.
But I've got a McFarlane Batwing.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, listen, these are huge investments. This is a premium item for it's also pretty niche, right? It's a pretty specific wrestling collectors who are huge WCW fans who want to have this big display. It was made for me, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's look at some of these tiers. So let's look at the different figures. They did announce the tiers. I thought these were just like examples. No, these are
they're out. Yeah.
those are all that's the real deal.
Oh, I was all ready to guess what they were going to be.
Oh no.
Fantasy book it.
We can guess other tiers that you would have liked to see.
Well, now it's not worth it. If they're not,
it's not worth it.
If they're worth the sad comment music.
Okay, so first off, we've got this really cool WCW Rey Mysterio, which is going to come with it no matter what. And then if they unlock, which one? Oh yeah, the Hogan was the early bird. So if it unlocks in the first week, you get the WCW debut Hogan. And if you guys don't remember, the first episode of Monday Nitro took place at the Mall of America in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I remember flipping through the channels and being like, what is this? They're wrestling at a mall. What? It was just amazing. Do you remember that, Ryan?
Right? Yes. You know what, dude? This is what bums me out. Okay, sad comment time.
Already?
This Hogan looks as weird as he did when he debuted in WCW. So they nailed that.
Yes.
Also, 2, I really wish they did the Hulk Hogan of him in the parade.
Oh, right, where he's like riding on the front of the
footage.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the one
he was a little.
they did.
They had the steroid trial, and he kind of thinned out a little bit, and he was doing Pasta Mania. But yeah, this is what Hogan looked like on that first episode. Ryan Ting, what do you think about these two figures specifically? There's been a lot of Hogans.
There has, he's clearly very, very important though. So I kind of see that. I really loved Rey Mysterio in WCW.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just talking to Tony in the office, who's an even bigger wrestling fan and expert. But that was really like my first exposure to that kind of cruiserweight style. And to me, Ray is always in that kind of cruiserweight WCW. I know he had this very, illustrious WWF run as well. And in terms of winning even the heavyweight championship, which I kind of had my issues with just because he's such like a unique talent and his style. But no, I love this look for Ray. And I think, it's very Nitro-esque.
Absolutely. And he had so many different masks. And I actually met Rey Mysterio after I went to WCW Monday Nitro the night after Bash of the Beach 98 in Las Vegas, and at the hotel, all the wrestlers were there. And, we didn't follow them to the airport like they do nowadays. We just saw him at the hotel. I was a little kid, and Rey Mysterio, I met him without his mask on. And I was like, oh, and I didn't know it was him, but I knew it was him kind of thing. Cause I was like, at first I was like, who's that little guy hanging out with Eddie Guerrero and Conan? I was like, oh my, that's Rey Mysterio. And everybody was really nice. It was great. It was a good moment.
I really hope they make a Psychosis to go with this.
Oh, well, Ryan, you bring up a good point. This introduction to like the Lucha Libre cruiserweight style was as important to WCW's success as the NWO or any of that stuff. It was such a different kind of thing. Hey, Brian had another interesting question, and maybe Ryan, you can give us some insight. What drives the decision for revealing all the stretch goals at the start versus doing it as each goal gets unlocked? I assume it's different for every project, and I feel like it's kind of evolved where it used to be like a surprise, but now everybody wants all the information up front. Is that kind of like a tricky balance to come up with?
It is. It's a subjective call too, as you can see from how just some of our campaigns have kind of run. Right. And it's there's pros and cons to doing it either way, because I think the big thing for crowd funds is you need to maintain your kind of integrity in terms of when stuff is put out there. It's pretty much set in stone. Like you can't really adjust it. I don't think you should be adjusting it in terms of tier levels or price or what it actually includes. So, if you're confident and this is how it is, and you lay it all out, and you value the transparency of it all, and you think the fans can look at everything on the page and make the decision, and then go for it. But if there's another way to not show everything up front and maybe maintain a little more flexibility and adjust where needed, like that's another route. And so it's a constant debate back and forth. And I think I was more in the camp of maintaining flexibility at all costs, but I think I've kind of come around and can see both sides a little more now. Yeah.
I don't even know as a consumer what I would prefer. I always love a good surprise, kind of like when we didn't reveal Ryan Ting was our guest tonight. We surprised everyone.
Yeah,
I think
showmanship, build up.
The showmanship. I think that's a fun thing to do. But also these are large investments in getting people excited early. The most, well, this is also subjective, but just by observation, the most important time of the crowdfunding campaign is that first launch, and then the very end, and then the middle part's really stressful and scary, and that's just for me as the person buying it. So I
like the anticipation of waiting to see what the reveals are going to be.
Yeah,
personally.
I understand that.
Yeah,
like an advent
because
calendar
already I was
and
disappointed that we got to see what the stretch goals were here. Right?
Do you want to
just like, I like guessing, and sometimes I like being right, and sometimes it's even better when you're wrong because it's something you didn't expect.
Right.
Yeah, the dream state's more fun.
Yeah, I like the speculation and the discussion and the anticipation of it, of that kind of stuff when they get revealed. So
absolutely. Okay, so let's look at the next tier, the 7,000 tier, which I think is doable. I think 11 might be tough, just based on seeing other campaigns. But then, okay, this is the 7,000 tier. This is a great WCW DDP. One of my favorites as a kid. My screen name was DDP. My AOL screen name. I was a.
Please tell the whole story. It was DDP Heart.
Yeah.
So it looked like DD Fart.
Okay, well, whatever. It was DDP Heart.
Sorry.
I was a mark.
Read as just
you
one
weren't
word.
there.
I still think it's hilarious.
It's
I think people
15
should
years
know.
before I knew you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anyways, I love DDP. One of my favorite wrestlers. Jake, don't tell people that. Don't think
I'll tell.
This is the 7,000 tier. Ryan Dole, what do you think of this figure?
Amazing. I love DDP. We all do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. It's great.
Yeah. Love the yoga.
We've met DDP a couple times.
Yeah, we have. We went and saw that.
You guys live like right next door to his yoga complex.
His crib.
Yeah. We'll take it over there.
Accountability crib.
Ryan Ting, were you? That's what it is. The accountability.
I
game.
know. Yeah.
Were you a DDP guy?
I was, he had that. I forget. I don't know the timelines, but there was, where he was like the underdog, right?
Yeah.
And you could really root for him that way. And it's great to see wrestlers like when they retire, like they're still doing well. Like 'cause
Yeah.
that isn't always
Yes.
the case. So that, I
Sure.
mean,
Yeah.
that's just another issue. No, but I love DDP and the Diamond Cutter. I think we could debate this, but like the RKO owes everything to the Diamond Cutter and the different ways in which he could counter and
Absolutely.
just surprise you out of nowhere. And
No
I think
argument
that
for
was,
me.
That was really revolutionary at the time. Just his kind of in-ring ability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people forget, and if you like, DDP was on the same trajectory as The Rock. Like he was no one really cared about him. He was kind of a bad guy, and then he just started kind of heating up. He was going up against the NWO, and like him not joining the NWO and basically giving them the finger and becoming like the people's champion of WC. I'm getting so hyped up. It's
Dude, I'm
WrestleMania
getting
week.
I know, I was
goosebumps
about to
just
say.
talking about it.
I love wrestling.
Me too.
I really
same.
do. And people have been wanting this WCW with the vest version of DDP for a really long time. So very exciting stuff. And then the next tier, I believe, is the 9,000 tier, which is I don't know. Can they do it? This is a guy who they have not had Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner just signed Legends deal. So I think this is going to be the first Scott Steiner elite figure. I hated Scott Steiner, but you were kind of supposed to.
Craig, I think this figure has a 33 1/3 chance of getting funded.
I do agree about that. If you back it and you get 400 and you sell 7,000 and then you sell 2 more thousand and then you ship it out. Yeah, we're gonna get some Scott Steiner.
You gotta
math
get him
tonight.
to do a promo for this campaign.
They should. That would be some really good.
That's the perfect
marketing.
meme, though, for all these reactions of everyone sharing. Well, this should obviously cost this much.
Yeah.
Right.
right. And for these reasons, and it's just it's that Steiner math.
Love that Steiner math.
Love it.
And if these all come in the Ultimates packaging, the packaging is so nice, especially like they do that collector friendly packaging. You can open it up, save it. That's what they did with the Doink and
Look
Diesel.
at those biceps. They nailed it.
I always was so confused. I was like, what is in this guy's arms? They're like round rocks. It doesn't make any sense.
It's just softballs. That's it.
It's just nuts. Abby, do you even remember Scott Steiner?
I don't, to be honest. I was looking at the post. I was like, all right, I know most of these guys, but this is one name that I was not familiar with. He's a heel, from what I'm gathering.
Yeah, he was. So he was. Hold on. Let's see here.
He was the big bad booty daddy, Abby.
Oh, I like
was.
that.
He was, and at one point before that, he looked like this.
Okay.
Okay, he had a nice mullet,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just. And now he runs a Shoney's in Woodstock, Georgia. So there you go. Can you believe that the managers of Shoney's are now getting their own Mattel Creations tiers?
It's good to see wrestlers doing well.
And this,
It is.
Oh,
It's
also
so-
want to point out he is a WWE Hall of Famer,
Yes, he
Scott
is.
Steiner. So just want to point that out as well.
Okay, let's
With
look
his
at
brother.
with
Yeah.
Rick Steiner, who
With
is
his brother. Oh, and Rey
I-
Mysterio gets inducted this week as
this
well.
year. And then Hogan, it's all Hall of Famers, which I think is another important thing. People are asking, why isn't there like deep cuts? Where's Psychosis? Where's La Parka? And it's like they need more
No,
than
dude, you
the
know
hard...
who we're asking about.
What?
Where's
Well,
the
who-
Nitro Girls?
Where's
If
the
you're gonna
Nitro Girls
do-
5-pack?
If you're gonna do the Nitro set, you need the Nitro Girls. Ringside Collectibles. I know you're listening.
I did
You're
show the
listening
post to
tonight
a
for
friend.
sure. Where's my 5-pack? My Nitro
Yeah.
Girls 5-pack Ringside Collectibles exclusive.
Yeah,
What reason?
I've heard that said. I was showing it this afternoon to a buddy, and he was like, "Well, where's the Nitro Girls?"
Wait,
so-
who are you showing it to?
Michael.
Oh yeah, I was there.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much just there.
It was the
Kimberly
first
Page,
thing he asked.
man.
Is what
Could
Well,
you
I
imagine
think-
unlocking Kimberly Page and DDP? Come on.
it'd be a Nitro miracle. The last tier 11,000 is the Warrior debut on WCW. Something I was such a Warrior, Mark. I was so excited for the Warrior. He shows up wearing his duster and his jeans, just like I remembered him. And
Yeah. I loved him too until I got the internet.
Listen, these are fictional characters that we're celebrating. We're not,
Okay.
yeah.
Does he know that?
I don't know if you heard about the guy who played Deadshot in Suicide Squad. Okay, moving right along. Okay, moving right along. I think the reason you have these mainstream characters is because you need more than just. You need this to have mass appeal. You need the guy who's not even a toy collector, but who loved WCW to come across this and consider buying it. Do you think that's true, Ryan Dole? The thing I just said.
I do agree, and it doesn't even matter. End of the day, because that's people are gonna. A lot of people don't know. Like not everyone watches Dark Side of the Ring. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Even though that's a great show, everyone should watch Dark Side of the Ring.
Sure.
But yeah, I could see why it's like this will hit a nostalgia button. No matter how you feel about the guy personally, his personal views. And the same goes with Hogan. I mean, it's all going to be nostalgia. Right. A lot of folks don't even really know.
Right. Sure. And I think this is a really great image. They've all okay. So now we're thinking $400. Okay. But look at all of this. Huge stage, the big WCW logos, soft goods banners, LED lights, 5 figures. Ryan Dole, let's start with you. Is the value there for $400?
I think so. I know that's like more. It's like what? That's $50 more than what the Sentinel was.
Right. How much was Galactus? $450 or $4?
Now I can't remember. Ryan, do you remember? Now I can't. It was $350, wasn't it, for the Sentinel?
Yeah, I wanna know. I think I think Sentinel was $350 and was Galactus. I don't know. It's been so long.
It has been. Yeah, it's been 2 pandemics.
I think Galactus was $4.
Yeah, it was about $4.
Right. And like you take a look at what all those came with, and like plus those all lit up, huge figures, awesome. And this to me, this feel like look at this, 5 figures, lights, big set. It looks accurate to what we saw on TV. And like,
well, it's like Abby was saying,
photographer and into if you're into
that's
toy
what I'm
photography
saying.
and wrestling,
yeah,
that's what I just said. I just like Abby said.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna say yes, I did say that. Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome. And I think it's beautiful. I want to see all the different light sequences.
Something I was thinking about though, knowing how wrestling figure collectors are, I'm not. Like, you've got your different subsets. You've got the people who want everything and anything. They want every play set. They want every ring. They want every figure. I get the sense that a lot of wrestling collectors only care about the figures, and like the world building aspect is not quite as important to them. And I think that different types of collectors, I think Star Wars collectors are desperate for world building. They desperately want vehicles. They desperately want play sets. I can't really speak to Marvel Legends collectors, but I think the proof is in the pudding that they definitely want giant-sized Marvel Legends figures. They probably also want vehicles, and they probably also want play sets. You know, G.I. Joe desperately wants vehicles. I'm not sure that wrestling collectors desperately want entrance stages. I think a certain section of them do, but I don't know if it's across the board.
The success of this will determine whether or not they want it.
We'll know tomorrow morning. Yeah. Right. Ryan, Ting, do you any general thoughts or finishing thoughts on this as far as world building for wrestling collectors or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I'm not a hardcore wrestling figure collector, so I think that's a good point, Craig, that different folks kind of look for different things. You know, some guys want every single wrestling gear of the wrestlers that they've ever had. So that's not me personally. Right. I do think, and I can't untease my bias of just knowing how hard, honestly, these projects are do. And, I know some of the guys over at Mattel, Steve, Bill, Rob, from Comic-Cons over the years, and they're great guys and they're super passionate and talented. So from just like being in the business and seeing, knowing those guys, of course I want this to fund and I wish them the best of luck. And yeah, I think for WCW fans and figure collectors, I think the value is there if you just look at how much you're getting in the box, not even including like probably like 2 to 3 figures at least, right? Well, I think we'll get unlocked. If I'm just speculating, but yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to pull the trigger on it. I did I wanted to bring this. I should have brought this out earlier, but lest anyone need any proof, I did back the new generation arena. So
Nice.
I am actually putting my money where the mouth is too. But yeah, I think it's there, and hopefully enough fans get on board and they unlock as many tiers as possible. I do want to give credit to the Mattel team. I believe they were the first that I was aware of to do this kind of early backer mechanism, and it really worked with Macho Man the last time around when they revealed that, and now they did it up front for the Motu Eternia and now up front here, and hopefully it gets enough fans on board to just fund the project, because that's the thing, right? Like once just getting to that minimum threshold is what everyone sweats out, and then it's like I likened it to college admissions. Like you can either get an early decision and you don't have to worry about anything, or you could like take it down to the very end and even get in off the wait list to a school, and then
Right.
keep pulling your hair out for many months. And so it's kind of you hope that everyone has the path of least resistance.
Right.
Yeah.
And Ryan, you have such a unique perspective because you not only are in the toy industry, but specifically like the pop culture action figure part of the toy industry. And even further than that, you've been a marketing lead on some very important and successful crowdfunding projects. Sorry, I'm looking at a cat who's
Jonesy.
sleeping on my Jurassic Park prints that I showed off earlier. So sorry, artist. Hey, Abby. Are you, if you had, I don't want to put you on the spot, but what does your gut tell you as far as price point, and based on the success of the arena, based on other projects you've been involved in, do you think this could be a winner for Mattel?
I do, and if you look at their previous campaign, the new generation, that one was very successful. Motu knocked it out of the park, and so I think Mattel has gotten 2 big wins for big play sets, and so this is just taking the wrestling one to the next step. It's the next logical right versus trying something like completely different. So yeah, I think they've proven it out, and I think it's smart for them to do, right? Like that, for you were saying Marvel, like we do better with the large, super oversized figures. So should we stick in our lane, or should we try something new? And we tried something new last time, and so yeah, it's just those kinds of things.
And I think from the marketing perspective, every project is completely unique. And because I think the other thing that makes it really tough, because I have such a general interest in marketing and product launches and how this stuff works, there's not enough data. It'll be 20 years of crowdfunding projects to have enough relevant data to show trends of what actually works and what doesn't, right? Like the first one, well, not the first one. The first real ones were what Mattel did with like Castle Grayskull and stuff back in Matty Collector days. But for modern times, we know that
Oh,
all right.
well, we lost Craig for a hot minute.
It's all right. Ryan, go for it.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to think of what Craig was about to say, but it's yeah, like
No,
what he's
it's-
saying is it's going to take time to figure all this out.
There's
Well,
like 10 data points for those data heads. There's like 10, like, right? So there's not a lot. And the point I would add here is that each campaign is at a different point in time. It's almost like, in sports when it's like, player contracts and stuff. And it's like the salary cap changes every year. And we hear it's always going up for the NBA. And then the game is changing. People are shooting more 3-pointers now. So you've got Steph Curry versus in the 90s when no one was. So how do you value? It's like, it's so hard to compare things because so much can change in just a couple of years, as we saw. Sail Barge and Sentinel, different time period than whatever's coming next, like 2-3 years later. It's so much different. It's like it's costing. I'll keep going on this, Craig, if you need. So it's costing, it's inflation, but it's also the competitive set too, because you've got these other companies coming out with great high ticket items, all vying for that. Collections are growing as well. Different lines are putting out more and more figures. So I think a lot of fans are kind of looking at their spending and saying, do I want to invest in these, bigger kind of world building vehicle type things, or do I just want to get all the figures that are coming out just to add to that? And so that's what's so exciting about this.
But like, even for me, like as a collector, it's one thing that I always say too, when Craig asks like, are you getting this? I always think about like how much real estate I have in order to even display this stuff. So it's like, I'm pretty sure that has to come into play too, of like, is this almost too big?
Yeah,
like, is that like ever a thing, or is it?
I think for a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. I'm just having major camera issues. That's what happens when you have cats that hang out when you're doing the live stream. But you guys basically covered what I was going to say. And what that was there's not enough data to really show what works and what doesn't. The barge almost didn't happen. That one Transformers one, they had to extend the what's that thing called? The
Unicron.
The Unicron. Yeah. So and then things like the Razor Crest and the Sentinel, and then the Galactus were like, Ryan, when those things were so successful, especially your projects, I mean, were you guys taken aback about how quickly that stuff funded, or did you know you had home runs?
No, for Sentinel, we were flying blind, and that one funded quicker than Galactus. But again, different point in time. There was like a multiple purchase kind of angle for some folks on Sentinel that we knew upfront wasn't going to be there on Galactus. Most people probably only bought one Galactus, but I think a lot more folks bought multiple Sentinels just because of the nature of the item.
Right.
But it all kind of,
you can army build them.
It all took us by storm, and it's so funny, like working on these. So like over a year of development, and you just took marketing, and then once that campaign goes live, it's like everything goes out the window. Like you have no idea. Something could go really right, something could go really wrong. And in both situations, you might want to adapt things. And it's kind of how can you best do that?
Right. Yeah, it's really interesting. It's going to be cool to kind of track how this goes. And nothing but good luck to the Mattel team. I know that the amount, you can't overstate how much work goes into the production of something like this, the engineering. And like I said, last year Comic-Con, I saw it and I would, if they ever make that, I have to get it. I don't care if I don't own a WCW figure. This is my childhood. This is nostalgia. I want to support projects like this. So very exciting. I cannot wait till tomorrow. But I'm nervous. My heart's beating. By the way, sorry for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, it's like probably because of Sorry, everyone.
No,
we're
it's
good.
fine.
The cat has not scratched the autographed pictures. So
it's okay. It's okay.
Prevented that.
It's okay. I shouldn't have put him on the floor. It's my fault. Okay. So really, that was like our main chunk of news. There really wasn't much other news to cover. Maybe we can punt the Star Wars reveals till next week. We know Star Wars Celebration's coming up, and there's going to be much more in the way of Vintage Collection of Black Series reveals. Maybe, Ryan, we've been predicting a Star Wars HasLab announcement for a while. Do you think we're
Village confirmed?
Do you think we're going to get one at Celebration?
Yep.
Yes.
Ewok Village confirmed, and we're getting, and again, like the Sentinel, the Ewok Village.
Yeah.
You can buy multiple of them and make a Ewok city. So just remember that when they announce it, to buy more than one. Right?
There you go. By the way,
Ryan,
yeah, go for it, Ryan.
Ryan, just make sure to get all your predictions for all these companies' crowdfunds plus your tiers. Get your predictions out up front, so then when all the marketing goes and shows all the tiers from the start, you can still get to have your moment.
Right,
Yes.
right,
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Ryan's gonna
I
come
love
out.
that.
I'm not even gonna tell him what the tiers are. He's just I'm gonna let him predict all of his stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, actually, it's this.
Actually,
this,
it's the
this.
Battle Wagon is the first tier. So not only do you get an Ewok Village, you get a vehicle.
I would
Yeah,
love that. I would absolutely love
Yeah.
that. I will see. I mean, it would, a couple tough roads for Star Wars, so we'll see what happens as far as another crowdfunding project. But crowdfunds are fun. I think they're one of the most fun things happening in
Yep.
in toys these days because
And well, people get excited too, right? Like Craig, like you and I, like for instance, like the moment when we see a fan first of anything, or like when Mattel releases that teaser of like, hey, there's a crowdfunding project coming up, there is that like, whoa, like that
what's it gonna
excitement of
be?
like
Yeah.
what could it be? It could be so many things. And it really is like also like 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 you said, like the Star Wars one saying, yeah, there's a Star Wars HasLab coming up.
Well, there's not.
I do. Like,
I mean,
is there not? I swear they announced. Did they not say that a couple fan firsts ago? Anyways,
you're thinking of another brand, Marvel.
I'll save those predictions for another show.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
it's like I swear they did, or maybe am I dreaming it? Did I work myself into a shoot?
You kind of did. They lightly teased when they announced the Endor bunker and when they announced the ATST. They kind of alluded to more world building coming for Return of the Jedi's anniversary.
Oh, okay, so I worked myself into a shoot. Okay,
that was yeah. You've been saying Ewok Village confirmed so much, but
that I started to believe my own hype.
Yeah, exactly. Abby, any other final thoughts on any of that stuff?
No, honestly, I'm excited for crowdfunds too. I like the build up and the excitement of the refreshing of the screen and
Brian Brink's charts.
Yes. And yeah, the fact that we all have this one common thing that we're all excited about paying attention to and talking about, I think is fantastic. So yeah, it's going to be a fun road watching this unfold.
Well, and also, we all grew up in the time period of going into a Toys R Us or going to a KB toy store and seeing massive play sets and massive world building opportunities. And the landscape of toys and products has changed so much that we know at this point it's going to be hard to get that massive play set for the action figure line that you want or the huge vehicle without these types of crowdfunding. So whether or not we're happy about that, that's a whole nother discussion for another time, but we're rolling with it. And I'm excited about the Nitro Arena. So I did want to touch on Brian Flynn did talk about the what's going on with the Super 7 stuff. We don't spend a lot of time on it, but we did talk about it last week. So they're working with the licensor. It sounds like TMNT is a really complicated license. And I don't know much about the world of licensing, but we know that Playmates is still the master license holders for Ninja Turtles. NECA's making figures. Super 7's making figures. Everyone's making Turtles figures, and they all have different rules and regulations about what they can make and what they can't make. Long story short, TLDR, Karai's now going to be in Wave 10. They're going to resculpt Rat King to be hopefully more Playmates accurate. And Ryan Dole's mad about it. So tell me. Wusses. That's what he says. Why?
Why? Just do it. I think it's cool. I like pretty Rat King. Right? Like I like it. I think it's something new. I think it's something we haven't gotten before. It's off a video game I really love. And instead, Man Babies got in the way again. Right? I lost this, and now I'm losing a pretty Rat King, and I'm over it. I think they have to stop listening to dudes. And
I think your logic about losing that Leia is a little bit off, but that's fine. I think it's other reasons.
Right.
It might be other reasons, but now I'm going with that because they're all claiming victory like they won.
Yeah, that's bad.
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Don't let them win.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
let Rat King be beautiful. Let him be beautiful.
Yeah.
Ryan, do you collect any of the modern turtle lines?
Yeah, I'm pretty much a completionist on the Ultimates. And I do the movie NECA stuff. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of fell off on the NECA animated just because there's so much coming and they're doing a lot of deep cuts. But I admire those guys for going really deep and talking about play sets. They've got some interesting stuff coming. NECA does. But yeah, sure. I love Turtles as I was showing off all the Playmates reissues, and I'm big on the Super 7 stuff too. I think I've got some there. I've got my rack.
Did you have any strong opinions on the change of what they were doing with the Ultimates, or is it just?
I mean, yeah, it's complicated, right? Licensors, and especially when it's split across. So I can't even imagine what those guys are doing. But I know everyone does kind of the best they can. And I watched that interview this morning, Brian Flynn on with Veebs on the Floosh, and they went pretty deep. And Brian's always really, really open and honest about stuff, which I think is great. And I just give companies like that props. It's not all companies can kind of react so on a dime like that.
Sure.
And so props to them for doing that. And I don't want to view it as like, oh, the lesson is if we cause a big enough uproar, then we can force changes, because that's not the case really. I think the change needs to be the right change first and foremost, not independent of who's asking for it or how loudly they are asking for it, right?
Right.
So clearly they thought that this was something that they supported as well, because you're not going to force a company to do something that they don't also believe in.
Right.
So looking forward to it. And I do love that Leo and the April in that wave. I love those two.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like Abby, it's like most things in life. It's gray area. There's no black and white. It should be this. It shouldn't be that. Like, there's got to be room for compromise. And at the end of the day, they're toys, and communication is really important. So Brian Flynn being out there doing the interviews and talking about stuff is a really good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there you have it.
I agree.
We do have some super chats we have to acknowledge. So Robert says, "No Dole, no Pretty Rat King." And then Davey says, "R.I.P. to the better Rat King. Never be bullied by nostalgia obsessed man babes." Okay, well,
wow,
listen.
back to back.
Hey, what did Ryan say earlier? You can't make everybody happy. So
can't make everybody happy, but I see that positivity spent more money. Anyways,
that's funny. Okay, cool. Well, man, the chat's been great tonight. Ryan, we appreciate you being here. We're gonna do some sad comments. Jacob's not here, but Abby was able to find some for us tonight.
Found one, yeah.
And just one?
Yeah.
Okay, just one. Okay. We're not going to do Extreme tonight. We're going to do another Patreon YHS episode a little bit later in the week. Before we get to any sad comments, Ryan Dole, any final thoughts on crowdfunding or any of the things that we talked about this evening?
I hope, just like everyone else, I know we're kind of broken records about this on this show. I just want them all to succeed. If it's not what you want, just don't buy it. If it is what you want, do what you can. If you can afford it and it's within your means, get it. And I hate to sound like a corporate mid manager, but we are all in this together. And
yes, we are.
I think this is I think crowdfunding is actually one of the most fun things to happen to toy collecting. Like I said, it's about the anticipation of reveals, of not just the project itself. Let's put it this way. Launch days for HasLabs is like a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It is so exciting. Everybody's on their A game. Like the Sentinel one always stands out to me. The Proton Pack, my best friend Pam, she killed it on that one. Like that whole team, they were awesome. That one always stands out because I was on a plane to Toronto watching it, and I was like trying not to like geek out and cheer on a plane because of this Proton Pack.
Mm-hmm.
You're still trying to play. You don't want to be that guy on a plane, right? But it's I think all these reveals, like even this one, like it's not as like big and there's not the pomp and circumstance to go with these Mattel ones all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still super exciting. And I think there's something very fun and very enjoyable about even just watching them, watching these things grow and watching how things change when things aren't going as necessarily how the company wants them.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
And watching how they swerve and change and how they adapt. I don't know. I think it's all like, cause I can relate to that and working in film, like things change and you got to move around. You got to control water. You got to be a water bender and you have to move and flow and all
the way of the water.
It's way of the water. So it's always fun. And it's always like, I have huge, deep respects for any of these companies that do this because just the launch alone just seems like so much. It seems like a Jeffries
Right, exactly.
right? Like
Yeah.
Almost,
It
almost at that.
Almost as
almost as
stressful.
And Ryan, we have a compliment to you. Thunder House Design says your shelves look better every time I see you on a stream. Very clean display.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
loving them.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I actually last night took the time to put all my Marvel 3 3/4 retros up. So that's every single one that we've made.
that's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
The
I do want to
sass.
just say, like, on just the topic of crowdfunds, and I know, like, yes, I want this to succeed. I want them all to succeed, just like Ryan said. And throughout the course of that campaign, it's become this spectator sport, and the commentary is kind of unavoidable at this point. So that's fine. But I think everyone, like, let's just try to maintain a little bit of perspective. And I think at the root of these crowdfunds, it's just the wonderment of the reveal and seeing it for that first time. And it's, it's nostalgia. It's a mix of both. This is something I've always wanted, and a little dash of I can't believe, like, I never dreamed that this would actually be possible.
Mhm.
And that's kind of what it comes down to. And it's not about, blasting companies over their decisions or what, things should or shouldn't cost, and everyone conjecturing, because honestly, like, not a lot of people actually know how this stuff gets made. And so if you want to share your opinions on what you think, that's great, but you don't necessarily have it all figured out. I barely do. And I'm like responsible for one in part. Right. So,
right.
but just, keep that perspective, guys. And, if you're into it, be into it. And if you're not, then there's a million other things out there for your attention, and then just focus on those things that bring you happiness and bring you that joy and that wonderment and that surprise.
Yes.
Ryan, and I completely agree. It's so perspective's hard, especially when people, this is a hobby. We're highly emotionally invested and financially invested into this hobby. This isn't like walking around, picking up rocks and putting them in your pocket. Is that something people do? It sounds like something like people might do. But, this, when nostalgia is part of it and big financial investments. I mean, we were watching a video last night from the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. They're at a toy show a toy store in Australia. This is the most incredible vintage Star Wars display that I've ever seen. Every figure, every playset, perfectly organized. I've been thinking about vintage Star Wars toys for 24 hours straight because I'm so excited about what I want to do with my collection and my display. And that's just the way you get wrapped up in these things. And I think, Ryan, I want to compliment you and your team. I do it all the time. I think the Marvel team is the best in the business at not only being transparent, but also hyping your figures and being actually unbelievably excited about your reveals and teasing out HasLabs. And like, you guys just kill it. And it really is a treat for us to have you on our show. We appreciate everything that you do, and it's just awesome. So thank you for still kicking butt, and it's just great.
And taking the time to hang out with us.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It means a lot.
I appreciate it. Thanks for the invite. Happy to hop on. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow morning. Normally Wednesday mornings I wake up, right, and I catch up on Twin Anxiety from Tuesday. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to like watch the Mandalorian episode.
We'll watch Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah.
Watch my camera falling over again.
Yeah.
I bit my lip. I didn't say any swears. I've been pretty good tonight.
Yeah.
I might have
Super professional.
I might have shot Abby a look, like a.
I heard. Yeah. We'll watch that on the replay and see how the domestic played out.
Oh, he shot me a look too when I kind of interrupted him, and he does the.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, Abby, you have a sad comment though.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
I was gonna say, as you were saying, Ryan, some people have to complain, and we're here to find those complaints and then read them out on sad comments.
Okay, so we got only one tonight.
Yeah, mine's off of the action figure attack, the Mattel WWE, what we were just talking about, Monday Nitro.
So that's Steve's. Oh, you know what? One more thing, Ryan. I thought it was really interesting that they utilized the action figure attack Instagram, Steve's Instagram, as kind of the vessel to launch this from his like personal Instagram. I think that's smart because he's got such a great following. But were you surprised by that?
Over to me?
Yeah. Or did you even notice?
Yeah, I did. But that's kind of different because Steve Action Figure Attack is just so synonymous, and he does have such a following. He puts in so much work, and so I think that kind of makes sense. It don't think I'm in position or anyone at Hasbro to like launch or do something on their personal account, but all the more power to Steve for being able to do that. And it's more pressure too, but it's awesome for him. And
yeah. And I noticed he was responding to like a lot of the questions and was like there. It was very, very cool.
We got to get him on the show.
Yeah, there were some really excited comments. A lot of people were happy. Matt Cardona was super happy about it. But then there's people like this who were not happy. So why don't we cue the music?
All right, little music, little sad, a rare Abigail sad comment. Here we go.
So fucking lame. There is no reason that this crowd very easily on Ringside or in Target. This needs to fail so these big companies stop this crowdfunding bullshit. Do not support this. These companies know you're addicted to collecting, so they think you will pay for any overpriced item.
Wow. You heard it here, folks. They could easily be at Target.
Yeah.
Easily.
These people have it all figured out. You just got to read the comments.
That was a good one, though. Thank you for Thank you for reading that.
Yeah. You're welcome.
That's it. That's our sad comment. I don't think it could get sadder than that. So that was good.
Yeah.
That was really good.
That was extremely sad.
That was extremely sad. Well, listen, folks, we're going to wrap it up. Ryan Dole, I'm going to give you the final thought this evening.
Oh, I don't know. I felt like I already kind of gave one, but
Second
check
final
out
thought.
tonight, tomorrow. Check out Jacob Walsh, our one of our usual hosts on YHS on Monster Island.
Whoa, Shawn Michaels is on the screen.
Yes.
This is great.
Heartbreak Kid is here. I don't know. I actually want to I'm going to popcorn this quickly over to Bret the Hitman Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart, do you have any
Oh, nice.
thoughts?
I think I wouldn't back this thing either, because if Eric Bischoff, that maggot, gets his way, he'll probably make $2 million off this, and I won't see a dime, and my family won't see a dime. I went in the back, and Sean, he was crying like a little girl. I haven't done Brett in a while.
That's really good. That was good, man.
Thank you.
How do you feel about Goldberg, Brett?
The guy couldn't have a match with some of the greatest wrestlers in the world. He ended my career, never apologized for it. And hey, Ryan Ting, who's your all-time favorite wrestler? Let's end on that. Who's your all-time fave?
I think it's clear.
It's clear. It's the guy. It's the only.
It is HBK.
The figure that the character figure I collect, and that was awesome. I was at the WrestleMania in Boston.
Okay.
And it was Michaels and with Tyson in his corner against Steve Austin, and then it kind of flipped on him. So
14.
Big HBK mark over here.
Awesome. Good choice.
Shawn Michaels is also my all-time favorite wrestler. I maybe once every 2 months put on his WrestleMania 25 match with The Undertaker and just bask in the glory of a great match. I love HBK. I really do. Ryan Dole, who's your all-time favorite wrestler? Do you have one?
I do. It's actually the Macho Man Randy Savage.
I love that.
He was the guy that got me kind of really hardcore into wrestling when I was a little kid. I actually thought he was a good guy, even though I realized he was pushing like Miss Elizabeth in the way in front of the actual good guys.
Yeah.
So
sure.
even when WrestleMania, what was it? What Superpowers?
Superpowers. Where's your brain?
I'm always saying Superpowers.
Mega
the Mega Powers.
Yeah.
That was WrestleMania 6, right?
5. WrestleMania 5.
Oh gosh. And I remember being a kid on the playground, and I was like, I can't believe they made Hulk Hogan a bad guy. And they were like, no. They're like, people would try to tell me that Macho Man was the bad guy. I'd be like, no,
he wasn't.
No, he wasn't. It's like, so when Hogan turned heel for NWO, I used to be like, this is the second time going heel. Why is this such a big deal?
Abby, do you have an all-time favorite?
Current, I like Becky Lynch a lot. Lita was a big favorite of mine.
You love Randy Orton too.
Oh, you're gonna love this weekend then, or next weekend.
Yeah.
I hear
or
voices
this weekend.
in my head.
No, it's this weekend.
Yeah.
this weekend. Oh,
Yeah.
I'll
I'm
end
so
with,
stoked. Yeah.
you know, we didn't get to this. I made a list of WCW figures that we need now that we're getting this Nitro Arena. And they've released a lot of these guys in general, but these are specifics. So let me just go through my list and then we'll end the show.
This is a very long final thought, folks.
This is my last final thought. We need Nitro debut Hall and Nash, especially Hall with the denim vest.
And Nash with the hat, the black
Nash
hat.
with the hat.
Okay.
WCW, where the big boys play. Look at the adjective play. Adjective. Okay. To go with the Hogan, we need the WCW Nitro debut Luger.
Yes.
With his white button up.
Yep.
That
his
weird
Seinfeld shirt.
Where he forgets he's a heel for a second and like he's high fiving the crowd. Then he's like, oh wait, I'm bad now. And he's like, all right. Glacier, obviously.
Yes.
We need Glacier. We also need Mortis and Wrath. We need Nick Patrick.
Good call.
The NWO referee, Nick Patrick.
Yep.
We need Master P.
Good call.
No Limit Soldiers. We need the Kiss Demon.
Whoa. Okay.
And we need the Nitro Girls. That's what we need.
Okay, I'm going to quickly add on to those quickly before we go. We need the announcement booth with Heenan and Bischoff. We're not going to get Tony Schiavone because he's now with AEW, so we're not going to get him.
That's why Sting's not in this set as well.
That's why Sting, yes. So we need those two. And there was we need Disco Inferno.
We do.
And we need Billy Kidman.
Oh yeah.
And Shane Helms and his boy band.
And Alex Wright. And Jacob wants Fire specifically.
And Chucky,
his favorite Nitro girl.
Dude. And David Arquette.
We do.
And Dennis Rodman.
Mm-hmm.
This is getting big. Hey, how good would a Ready to Rumble San Diego Comic-Con exclusive David Arquette figure be? Now we're cooking.
Yeah.
Now we're cooking.
Although that's the second Nitro Arena logo, so I don't know. Listen, for Ryan Dole, Abigail Gardner, and our special guest and good friend of the podcast, Ryan Ting, thank you for joining Toy Anxiety. Jacob Walsh will be back with us next week. No Extreme tonight. Stay tuned for more Patreon updates later in the week. And we've got a lot of Ghostbusters news to be talking about on YHS Podcast. Big casting news this week.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it never ends. There's always something to
So
talk
many
about.
comments.
So many sad comments.
Sift through. Yeah, we can't wait.
But I'm already I got to get my Kumal Marvel Legend from Eternals and make a custom Ghostbuster now. Look at me. I'm very yes, and Buff Bagwell and Dean Malenko. Oh, we need so many. I'm waking up and I'm back in a Nitro Arena tomorrow. I cannot wait. Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.